Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob. You okay?
Yes, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Here we go
Good.
again.
Yes.
First of all, Rob, how honoured are you to be in charge again?
Well, yeah, it's the same as November, exactly the same. So no different. Very proud again to be leading the boys out, but it's business as usual, Rob, and that's our main focus. And we've got 3 really important games coming up for different reasons: 2 World Cup qualifiers and a great friendly for others to put this stamp on potentially the squad for the Euros for the summer. So it's a big camp for us and one that we're really looking forward to.
Like in November, has Ryan played a part in the selecting of the squad?
Yeah, absolutely, of course, yeah. Like he does every other camp. All the staff will have an input, so we'll all gather and have conversations about the squad and about the opposition and the analysis. And so things have been no different with regards to that. Yes, I'm here as the front man at the minute, but it'll be no different to what we was in November. He'll have an input, and rightly so.
Given the ongoing situation, Rob, has there been any talk at all about you leading the squad into the Euros?
No, not at all. We're just taking each camp as it comes, Rob. And obviously it's difficult for Ryan at the minute, but we've just got to make sure the focus is on the players. We just got to stay focused with the job in hand. It's exciting few months that we've got coming up. And we just want to look forward to the next game, which is Belgium away, an extremely tough game. We've got 2 days prep coming into it, so we've got a couple of games that the lads will be playing in before we meet up. So we'll be holding our breath, making sure that everybody comes in with no injuries. And like I said, we're all looking forward to the tough game in Belgium.
If the situation does continue, though, would you be happy to lead the squad into the summer?
Well, I think that's conversations that need to be done further down the road. So at this moment in time, my main focus is on just these 3 games. We've got 2 tough World Cup qualifiers, and I'd rather not think about long term yet. Let's just get these out of the way, and after that, we'll assess the situation again, no doubt, with everybody involved, and whoever makes those decisions will make those decisions.
And last November, the players cope with it really well, because it is a sort of unique situation in a way. Do you expect them to cope the same this time?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're a great group of players. I've had nothing but praise to say about them since I've been working with them. And I said earlier, they're a great group. From the senior, we've got some great senior lads in the group, and some of the young ones that are pushing the senior ones. Is a good blend, and the changing room is brilliant. So we love the atmosphere when we come on camp. Their attitude was, I couldn't have been more proud of that group of players, and Ryan too. Ryan was really proud of that group of players, how they committed themselves, how they committed to the cause, in November, and we got the results we wanted, and we expect the same again. And knowing the group of players as I do, they'll react in a positive manner again.
Rob, you've included Aaron Ramsey, but reports in Italy suggest that he might not be available. What is the latest as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, well, that's still ongoing. We're still investigating that. We've obviously named him in the squad because he's a big part of what we want to do and how we play. So, of course, we want him in the squad. We would like to get him on camp and have eyes on him and assess him ourselves. So that's just an ongoing situation at the minute that we're going to be assessing daily. But fingers crossed, we'll have him when we meet up on Sunday.
So will you because it is every country's right to call the player in to have a look themselves?
Yeah, we'd like to have a look at him. We'd like to have eyes on him. So yeah, he's in the squad at the minute, unless things develop overnight and become far worse than what we think. That he's absolutely out of the 10 days, the 3 games. So if things change like that, then it's out of our control. But as it stands at the minute, we'd like him to meet up and then we can assess him.
Couple of quick other things. Joe Allen back and Wayne Hennessy back. How big is that for you?
Yeah, of course. You want your experienced big players, involved in the camps. I've been to see Joe a couple of times in the last couple of months, and he's looking good. He's back to full fitness. I think the way Stoke have managed him back to full fitness has been a credit to them. I think they've managed him into that, and it's great to have your big players back. Certainly for Wayne as well. He's had a frustrating time out with injury, and he's back to full training. He's played some under 23 games albeit it's not first team level, of course not, but any minutes that he can get is a bonus, and we'll get him on camp and have a look and assess again.
And Gareth Bale appears to be, didn't have a great game over the weekend, but he appears to be back to where you think he would be. What are your thoughts on him and the way he's come on the last few weeks?
Absolutely. I've seen him the last couple of weeks, and it looks like he's enjoying his football again. You know, he took some criticism over the last couple of months, and he's just got on with his business as usual, wait for the opportunity, and when he's got the opportunity, then he's taken it, and he looks like he's enjoying his football, which is great news for us. You know, Daniel James back playing, great news for us. So you want as many of your best players and as many as your players playing competitive football before they come on camp. And
it doesn't get much more difficult than Belgium.
No, that's right. It's a tough game, Rob, isn't it? You know, we've got 2 days prep. The Monday will be a recovery day for some, and the second day recovery for most. And then we've got the training session on Tuesday before we fly out to Belgium and play Wednesday. So it's a big ask, but we can't complain. It is what it is. We've got to get on with it. We've got enough in that change room in the squad, and our record speaks for itself against Belgium in the past. That, you know we can hurt teams. So we'll be going into it full of confidence because of what we've achieved in November as well over the last couple of years. And it'll make for an entertaining game.
Promise, this is the very last one. When do you need to know about your camp in Baku and where you'll be based? When are you expecting clarity on that?
I think after this camp, if I'm being honest, I think we're probably 90% certain that will be the case. But I think the T's will be crossed and the I's will be dotted after this camp, a little bit further down the line when restrictions are eased again. So, like I said, main focus is on this camp in March. But after that, then we'll have a clearer picture and plan of what we're doing for the Euros.
All the best, Rob. Thanks.
Thanks, Rob. Cheers.
Thanks, Rob. We'll move now to Geraint Hughes.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Geraint.
Rob, can I just pick up with a few things also with Ryan, just to exactly how challenging this is for you. Obviously, you've been through it once before with the November internationals, but what challenges does it pose for you when you haven't got the manager there? As you say, you've got to be the front man there now. How difficult is it to actually physically do the job when you haven't got Ryan Giggs alongside you, involved with you day to day in the camp?
Well, it's the same as what we had in November. It's exactly the same scenario. So we'll be in contact with Ryan daily, and don't forget we've got good staff around us as well. Right? So we've got Albert, who's first team coach at Arsenal, assistant manager at Arsenal, and has got a wealth of experience and is an unbelievable coach. We've got Tony Strudwick, Tony Roberts. So the staffing structure is the same as November, and it's business as usual. So when you've got a good team around you, it's easy then to bounce things off each other, and we'll already have a plan. And we have a plan B, and we try to anticipate what we're going in games, and if we need to make any substitutions, albeit it's of course it can change, but we'll have a plan going into the game, and we'll also have things up our sleeve that if we need to change for whatever reason, if certain things ain't working for us or personnel ain't doing it, we'll have another plan. So it's business as usual, like I said, and November it's no different to that.
Rob, for the players, how does it, and for yourselves, how does it kind of actually work on a day-to-day basis? As you were honest with us the last time around in November, is you speak to Ryan on a daily basis, but how does that happen, and how does it happen that there's no confusion? Because you can see what's going on the pitch in training, you can see the demeanour of the players. Yeah. How do you keep in contact with Ryan, and where's the point where you make the decision?
Yeah, that's right. So there's no contact in the morning. There's no need to. We can deal with players overnight, and we have a meeting with the medical team in the morning to see if there's any issues from the previous day. The thing is, with this camp, there's going to be 2 days training, and that's it. The only feedback Ryan will have is after training, on personnel and how the session went, and it's as simple as that. It's a brief conversation just to keep him in the loop, really. Myself and Albert and Tony will assess the players on a daily basis, because we'll be the ones out there watching them train and watching them work, and we'll make the ultimate decision. So, that's the concept we have, and that's how we deal with it.
Does that mean, Rob, that you select the sides and put that to Ryan, or does Ryan select the side and then you put it? How does the actual starting 11? I get the selection of the squad today, but a starting 11, how does that work, Rob?
No, Ryan will want our input. Myself and Albert, like we have in every other camp when Ryan was here. It's no different to that. He's not one of those managers that will just go and pick the team, and he will get the input of all the staff, and it's no different. It's no different now, albeit he's not here. He values my opinion and Albert's opinion, and we all have an input. And like I've said, ultimately we've got eyes on the players every day. So we'll have a big say in that.
Rob, can I just bring you back to Aaron Ramsey? It's just how, like, maybe I'm reading between the lines when you answered Rob's questions. How confident are you that Aaron will be able to join up with the squad at the weekend? What's got to go on between now and say Saturday, Sunday for him to join the squad? It seems like a complicated situation given that he's had a number of muscle injuries.
Yeah, of course, and we've got to be sympathetic and how we deal with it. Of course, we want our best players here. Juventus want their best players to recover, because when they get fixtures start again, they want their best players available. Communication between ourselves and the club is imperative. We've got to have dialogue with the club and see where they're at with it, and it's showing each other that mutual respect, and that's where we're at. It's as simple as that. We'll have conversations, and if we feel that it's doable to get him in and have eyes on him and possibly have him in contention for part of the games, then of course we want to do that. But we also have to respect the fact Juventus might not want to risk him and want to maybe get his recovery done there. So our medical team, like I've said before, it's one of the best I've worked with. So they'll take no chances if they don't think he's going to be fit. But on the other hand as well, it'll be a conversation with Juventus and see if we can get him over and have a look.
Is that maybe where the extent of the injury is? It's one of those injuries that could be a couple of weeks. Realistically, Rob, is he absolutely no chance for the Belgian game, but could be very much play a part for your thoughts for the Czech Republic game? Is that probably a good way to surmise where you're at?
Yeah, I don't really want to speculate on that. I'm not a physio myself, so I'm meeting with Sean later, the head physio. So we'll have a conversation later. Within the next couple of hours, we might have more development on that as well. So I'll have more information. But at the minute, I wouldn't want to speculate whether he's fit for the first or not, and fit for the friendly or the Czech game. So we'll know more by the end of today, I'd imagine.
Rob, just on the games itself, Belgium. When you and I spoke, when the fixtures came out for the World Cup qualifiers, Belgium away first game, then the last game is Belgium. It looks like somebody was having a bit of a scheduling game there. But does it make any difference when you play Belgium? Is this a good time to play Belgium? A bad time to play Belgium?
Well, what we know is they're a fantastic team, and they've got an abundance of quality players that, irrespective of what team he plays, Roberto Martinez has got a way of playing that's, they're physical, they're fit, they're quality, in depth. So we're going to have to be at our best. It doesn't matter when you play them. We've got to be at our best. And like I said, we're in a good place at the minute. Welsh football is in a very, very good place. So over the last couple of years since Ryan's taken over, Welsh football has been unbelievable. And to win the games that we did in November and get promoted, we're full of confidence coming into this. So Gareth Bale's playing football, DJ's playing football. We've got a lot of quality players out there now playing competitive football, which they're going to have to stand up and take note of that as well. And in the past, our record is very good against them. So, I think they'll be looking at that as well. So it's not all about what we're going to focus on Belgium. Of course, we're going to respect them. They're a fantastic team. But we also identify that we've got a strong team and world-class players ourselves, and they'll respect that as well.
How much will you use that, the fear factor? Belgium definitely have, they've got a bit of a fear factor with Wales. You beat them in huge matches in the past as well. I think maybe mentioned as well that that they feel that they've got a bit of a hoodoo with Wales. How much can you use that as part of sort of the mental build up to the game, not just for the players, but also maybe a bit of mind games towards Belgium as well?
Yeah, well, we've done all the analysis, and ultimately, like I said, we'll respect them as a team. And the lads that have been involved over the last couple of years and played against Belgium in the past will certainly know that we can absolutely go and compete with them. Absolutely, there's no question of that whatsoever. So there'll be no mind games from our point of view. It'll be business as usual, and hard work on the training pitch, and we'll have a plan. We'll have a game plan set up that will hopefully give us the best chance to win the game.
Just a quick question for me on Gareth. I know you mentioned with Rob earlier about how he's back playing good football and he's enjoying his football, but he's always enjoyed his football when he's come back to Wales. How much of a bonus that not only will he enjoy himself when he comes back into the Welsh football family, but that he's playing football with a smile on his face at a club level as well. And the fact that he looks like he's got a yard of pace back, and that he's got that fitness that he lost at Real Madrid back. How much of a bonus and how tangibly can you use that, Rob?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it has been a frustrating couple of years for him looking back at Real Madrid. And whenever he's come to Wales, one thing I've noticed since I've been involved is that he turns up, he's first for every camp, which is brilliant. And, you know, that's great for the young players to see that as well. You know, irrespective of whether you're playing at club level, when he comes on camp, you know, he's still the world-class player. And I said in November that I've seen glimpses of him in training that I just want the supporters to see, albeit they can't be in the stadium at the minute, but even if they're watching it on TV. And I think he's showing glimpses of that now back at club level. So to have him playing week in, week out, coming on to camp is easier for us because we haven't got to manage his training loads while on camp. We know we can pretty much get on with things as usual. When the past we might have been sort of a little bit more flexible with training loads regarding him because he's not playing that many minutes, and could he play 2 competitive games in quick succession? Whereas now there's no questions of that. You know, we're pretty pleased with his fitness and how he's doing, and like you said, he's playing with a smile on his face and he's enjoying his football, which we'll benefit from.
Rob, I'll leave it for there now. I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate. Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks, Geraint. We'll move on to Sinead David here.
Hey Rob, nice to see you again.
Hi, you too.
No new faces in this squad. The welcome return of Wayne Hennessy and Joe Allen. We've been very familiar with seeing new faces being introduced into the Wales squads over the past couple of years. But is this sort of the core group of players that we can expect to see over the next few months, including the Euros?
I think so. I think there's a couple of other fringe players out there that you know could be added later on if need be, that we've had in previous camps. But you know, it's a big squad. We've picked it for a reason. It's the last probably window for the players to sort of show us what they can do again. You know, and then give themselves an opportunity to be in that squad for the Euros in the summer. So it's a big squad, and like you said, we won't go far outside of that what we've got.
In terms of the calendar you've got coming up, a very, very busy international calendar. I think it's something like at least 9 games potentially. At least 12 games in the space of 9 months. How are you and the team behind the scenes going about in managing that? Because you've also got the leagues, a lot of games in a very short amount of time as well. Injury-wise, is that a bit of a concern?
Well, it's always a concern, of course. And we've got a couple of games now that we've got to hold our breath on, you know, until we meet up next Sunday. So it's always a concern. Nothing we can do about it, so we can't worry too much about it. We'll always have to plan for, you know, injuries maybe. And at this moment in time, we've picked this squad. We're always going to get little niggles, and we've picked a big enough squad to hopefully cope with that with the 3 games we've got coming up. With regards to the summer, it'll be the same. You know, fingers crossed. We don't have many injuries, and we go into the tournament with a full squad.
In terms of the goalkeeping situation, great to see Hennessy back. None of them are really playing very regularly at the moment. Yeah. How are you going about, you know, and dealing with that? And will that make, you know, your selection difficult for the games?
Of course, yeah. You always want your players playing. Of course you do. It's international football, so you can't dictate that. You can't. It's down to the clubs. It's down to the managers at those clubs. You know, Wayne's come back from an injury. He's been training now for a few weeks and playing under 23s football, which is great. So we'll have a fit Wayne Hennessy coming back into camp. Woody's, you know, obviously playing competitive football with the 23s and been training all season, albeit he's not playing. So of course it's not ideal, but we can't influence that. So we'll make that call when we see them in training and make our decisions from that.
Sorry to ask you again about Ramsey and Bale, but in terms of Ramsey, it's just the 2 starts for him for Wales since the beginning of 2019. How frustrating is that for him? You know, are you guys talking with him regularly? Because of course, I'd imagine he wants to be playing much more regularly for his country.
Of course, I bet there's nobody more frustrated than Aaron Ramsey with the injuries he gets, you know, and it's he can't help that. You can't help that. It is what it is, and we just have to manage it and deal with it. You know, we're sympathetic to that. it's not easy for him as well. He wants to play, and when he plays, he's shown in the past of what quality he's got and what he can do for us. And so it's as frustrating for him. Believe me, I've been a player myself, and when you get little injuries when there's big important games coming up for your country, it's hard to take. So he'll be low, and I think that's part of the reason as well. We'd like to get him in camp, get him in with a group of lads. He loves being here with the lads as well. So it's important to do that from that point of view as well.
And in terms of Bale's situation at Spurs, I think it's great to see he's there with Joe Rodon, with Ben Davies. You've got there, I think they're calling it the Welsh Mafia together. You've got a collection of players at Stoke, at Swansea, at Cardiff. How great is it that you've got international players playing with each other week in, week out?
Yeah, great point. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to benefit us, of course. Yeah. Joe Rodon he's had a great move. He found it frustrating because he's not playing week in, week out. Ben didn't play over the weekend, but in recent weeks he has played, and he's played with Bailo, so that's great. I've been to see Stoke a few times. They've got 7 Welsh players there, so that's going to be a season ticket holder for me. So yeah, it's good. Some of them are playing, some aren't. But if you get, like you said, Joe Allen's back in as well now, which has been brilliant. I think the way Stoke have managed his fitness, or getting back to fitness, has been brilliant, and he's getting stronger by each game. So it's great to have your lads all playing, and if they're playing in the same team together as well, it's definitely beneficial.
And just lastly, for me, a lot of talk obviously on the Belgium game. That's the one getting all the headlines at the moment, but Wales have never beaten the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a very, very tough one.
Yeah, they're all tough. They're all tough. It's a World Cup campaign, so they're all tough for different reasons. We've done a little bit of analysis on the Czech Republic, but our main focus at this moment in time is Belgium. And as soon as that final whistle goes for Belgium, we'll be fully focused on the Czech Republic, albeit with a Mexico friendly in between.
Diolch, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, diolch Sianed. Beth Fisher, ITV.
Hey Rob, you're right. Just a couple from me. Firstly,
Hi,
how
Beth.
weird is it to be on the road for 2023 when you haven't even completed 2020?
Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it? It's been a crazy 12 months, hasn't it? And I still have a little bit of input into the intermediate groups as well, and their fixtures are all over the place and trying to get them on grass. So it's unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this before, and it is unusual. But it's sandwiched in between the World Cup qualifiers. We've got the Euros, so. But it's an exciting time from a positive. There's a lot of games to play. There's a lot for the Welsh public to be excited about, and it starts with a tough game against Belgium.
Do you think in some respect it's actually benefited Wales having it a year later, and then you've got some tough fixtures now against some world-class opposition, and that will bode well, wouldn't it, for all your players coming in?
Aspects of it, absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah, I think some of our younger players coming through might have had loan moves that hadn't gone really well for them. It gives them an opportunity then to get another 12 months experience under their belt. So yeah, I think from that aspect it has been a positive. So it can work one or two ways as well, can't it? Because in the meantime you might get injuries, some that weren't. It's given us an opportunity to get Joe Allen back fit. That was a long-term injury that he had, and Wayne. So yeah, there's a lot of positives to be had by it being delayed by 12 months.
Every time the team comes together, you kind of kick on. In your view, what are you most looking forward to in this campaign in the next few weeks?
Getting the boys all back in together. The atmosphere is great. Since I've been involved, I've said it is like a club environment, and spoke to the staff as well, and they're itching to get back involved, and it is a good feel, and we've got a lot of work to do in 2 days. And you want to play, when you're a footballer, you want to play against the best, and we're certainly doing that on the Wednesday. Against Belgium away, it'll be a tough test. 2 days prep, but we'll have a game plan, and if, like I said, if they do what they've done in November, then we'll give ourselves the best chance of winning the game. So there's a lot of work to do, like I said, but they're a good group, and they take on board what we ask, and we're in a good place at the minute.
Since obviously speaking to you and Ryan from the start, it's kind of been an evolution of the squad. I remember Ryan saying right at the start, it was just getting some of the boys fit and used to international kind of camps. The last camp, it was trying to score more goals. I remember you saying that you wanted to, not just the 1-0ers. What are you really targeting for improvement in this next few games?
Well, we want to keep our winning form. We want to keep winning games of football, however that be. We'll take a 1-0, absolutely, of course we will. But we're greedy. We want to score goals. We want to give ourselves the opportunity to score goals. But our defensive record has been second to none as well. So we want to keep that intact, and it's getting both sides of the game, getting that right. So we don't want to concede many goals, but we also want to score more than the opposition. So that'll be the plan, and progression. Like I just said, Wales football is in a good place at this moment in time to win the group like we did in November, and in the fashion in which we did it as well. That was really pleasing, albeit with 10 men. But before they went down to 10 men in Finland, I thought we were in control of the game as well. And with the personnel we've got on the pitch, there's definitely goals in the team.
Obviously, with Sean's point about the squad, someone like Will Vaulks, unlucky to miss out because he's been playing really well for Cardiff.
Of course, and if you're not in the squad, then you're always going to think, well, I'm playing, I'm going to give him my best at club level, and ultimately it's the decision of myself and Ryan and Albert, and as much as he'll probably feel grieved by it, it's not a complete no, in future. He's just all he's got to focus on now, and anybody else who's not been selected in this squad is just playing well at club level, and the rest will take care of itself. So for this moment in time, he's not involved in the squad, but that doesn't mean that in future he won't be selected.
Is that fallen on you now to take the calls with the players who may be a bit aggrieved?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no problem with that. If I've always said to the players, if they want to have a chat and ask why, and no problem at all. The door's always open, and the phone's always there.
Listen, last question from me. Obviously, we're still in a pandemic. We're going to miss the red wall, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I said that in November. It was such a great feeling in November, when we won against Finland, and the only thing we missed was having our supporters there. It's of course we'll take the win, but just having that red wall, having the supporters with us is something we missed, and we can't wait to get them back through the doors and watching us.
Just in time for Belgium at home, eh?
Yeah.
Listen, have a good one. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks.
Okay, a couple of questions from Lawrence Morrow.
Yeah. Hey Rob, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, listen, I know you finished on a positive there, so I apologise for dragging it back slightly negative, but a lot of the fans are very concerned, obviously, with the fact that Ryan's not going to be there in charge for this camp. Obviously, Jonathan Ford as well, leaving as CEO for Wales. So overall, what is your message to the fans on where we're at with Welsh football at the moment?
Well, when the players turn up on Sunday, they won't be focused on Jonathan Ford's position. They won't be too concerned over Ryan's position. I'll have a chat with the group on Sunday like I did in November's camp. We proved that what we did in November has been successful, and there's no reason why this camp can't be the same. We've got a great group of players, the ultimate professionals, and they'll get on with business as usual. So it's no different to like I said in November. I can understand their concern, but at this moment in time, there's a group of staff that's no different to November that'll be taking the games, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
I just on Gareth, did you see a moment where it clicked for him, where it just changed? Because obviously he was going to get a lot of stick beforehand. Was there a moment that sort of stuck out for you that you saw, oh, hang on a sec, here we go?
No, not really. I don't think there was one moment. I think when you're a professional footballer, you set yourself up for criticism, and he's taken his fair share of that since he's come back to Tottenham. He's now playing football. He's playing well. He's enjoying his football. He's playing with a smile on his face. That's all he's got to do. He's just got to focus on that. He can't worry about what people are saying about him, and he doesn't. I know Gareth now really well, and he's not influenced by that at all, as we've seen in the press before. At other clubs he's been at, it's been difficult. He'll turn up. He'll do his work. He'll be the ultimate professional, and that's what we get from him. So he knew he was going to get his chance. He knew it would come good at Tottenham, and it certainly has done for him.
Listen, club managers love a grumble about international football, don't they? But in this truncated season and the way the games are being fitted in every few days, have you had club managers sort of on the phone to you yet and having a chat about their players?
No, not yet. No, it's been pretty quiet actually, which is quite nice. It might change this week because there's still a few games to play, but. Like I said, myself, Ryan, Albert, we're open to conversations with managers. We want to look after the players, absolutely. We want our best players through the door. We want our squad to be fit. And we're going to be sensible with it. I've said about the medical team, got one of the best medical teams I work with. So you know, we understand what we've got to do to get these players fit, and we're going to manage that. But we've got a job to do as well as international managers, and we want to win games of football, and we have to have that mutual respect.
Just finally for me, one for the fans. They're all asking if Luke Jeffcott got close to the squad, scoring bags of goals in the lower leagues. Was he one that you were looking at to potentially bringing in?
I went to watch him at Doncaster 2 weeks ago, and I've seen him a few times. He's been in the younger age groups, and I've watched him, and we're monitoring him absolutely. And of course, whenever you're scoring goals, you're going to set yourself up to be noticed, and we've certainly have done. And it's been a name that's cropped up, and he looks like at this moment in time an exciting talent for the future. So I spoke earlier about the squad that we've got now, and there's others on the fringes that are pushing, and he's absolutely one of them. Yeah.
Great stuff. Cheers, Rob.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks guys, and we'll move